All right, people, I'm back. My camera always got some unresolved issues. So we're doing this video all over again. And this is part two. The title of part two is going to be called Sex Game of Players and Bad Boys versus Sex Game of Pickup Artists and Dating Coaches. Now, in part one, I talked about the history. Part two, I'm going to get into the math and the science and something fun and interesting in this video. Now, what you were never taught when you was in elementary school, junior high, high school, college, and in the real world is that we have a system called the pussy pool. Now you might say, Alex, what in the blue hell is the pussy pool? The pussy pool is where you got a pool of women in the pool. You get a selection of women that find you physically, sexually attractive, but you don't find those women physically, sexually attractive. You get women that are 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds. You get women that's between 6 feet to 6'5". You don't like tall women, but they find you physically, sexually attractive. You don't like ugly girls because she's butt ugly. Her teeth might be messed up, or her nose might be big, or one side of her face looks funny looking, or her eyes are different colors, or some crap like that. That's the pussy pool. And every time you reject women that are 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s, you are eliminating women out of the pussy pool. You are basically telling these women, I don't want to give you my phone number, my email address, and I don't find you physically, sexually attractive. And these women tried to pursue you a total of 5 to 10 times. But you reject her all 10 times because you don't find her physically, sexually attractive because somebody told you to raise your standards and get 8s, 9s, and 10s. Now, you can get 8s, 9s, and 10s, but what pickup artists and dating coaches don't ever want to tell you, even when they charge you between $500 to $1,000 cash at these 2.5 hour, 3 hour pickup artist dating coach seminars, is that you have to have sex with women that are 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s because that's going to elevate your game 5 to 10 times, tenfold, to where you can physically and sexually attract 8s, 9s, and 10s just like that at the drop of a hat. You ever see a guy 1 minute mess with a girl that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds? Everybody's laughing at him. They're making fun of him because he can't get the best of the best. But all of a sudden, 5 years go by, he's now dating a supermodel. He couldn't get the supermodel before until he had to mess with a woman that was 200, 300 pounds. We call it the pussy pool. The pussy pool is a system where women find you physically, sexually attractive, but you don't find them physically, sexually attractive. Now, pickup artists and dating coaches like to sell people a pipe dream. They try to convince men that looks doesn't matter. And we all know that's BS because looks does matter. And players and bad boys also sell people pipe dreams too. But here's where the players and the bad boys is superior and more powerful and more sufficient than the pickup artists and the dating coaches. Players and bad boys will have sex with your mother, your grandmother, your cousin, your auntie, your sister, your girlfriend, any female that they find physically, sexually attractive. Players and bad boys will mat to. It don't matter if it's your best friend's girlfriend. It don't matter if it's your next door neighbor's wife or girlfriend. Players and bad boys will mat to any female. The girl could be 6 feet, 6'5". The girl could be short. She could be a midget. She could be fat. She could be ugly. Players take no prisoners. Pickup artists and dating coaches are like police officers. They have too many rules and too many restrictions. They'll tell you don't go to the nightclubs and don't go to the bars, and you'll go, what do you mean don't go to the bar and don't go to the nightclub? How I'm supposed to meet a woman? When you go to a church, 99.99% of the time, who's getting all the booty up in the church? The pastor, the deacon, them the ones getting all the booty in the church. And they sell people in the church a pipe dream. Well, a pickup artist and a dating coach is just like going to church. They lie to you and they tell you a pipe dream. All they want is your money. And they'll tell you you need to get some 8s, 9s, and 10s. That's all they'll tell you. But their advice is powerless and useless because they're not telling you how to get the 8s, the 9s, and the 10s. Now you go to someone that's a player. You go to someone that's a bad boy. They gonna not only tell you you need to get 8s, 9s, and 10s, they're going to show you how you pick up 8s, 9s, and 10s. For those who've seen movies like How to Be a Player, in the movie, they told one of the secrets. It's not a secret, it's common sense. You gotta find the ugliest woman and treat her like she's Halle Berry. You gotta find the fattest woman and treat her like a supermodel. I'm serious. That's why I say messing with fat women and older women and ugly women is the greatest equalizer. Because do you walk into a job fair and you say, I want a job at 24 Hour Fitness? They'll look at you like, do you have a resume? Did you fill out an application online? Do you have a cover letter? And if you say no, they'll look at you and say, well, we'll only hire people with the best experience. You can't get women that are 8s, 9s, and 10s if you don't have at least 5 to 10 years of experience of getting your Mac on. Women don't want men that ain't never had sex in their entire life. Like, imagine if you walk up to someone like Scarlett Johansson and said, you're the first woman I ever made love to. Scarlett Johansson would register that, so what you're trying to tell me is you don't get no booty. So she disappointed because she thought that she wouldn't be the first woman that you made love to. She thinking she gonna be the second or the third or the fifth woman that you made love to. And that's how you get manipulated and you get tricked and deceived by 90% of women here in America. Because the minute a woman find out I'm the first woman you ever fell in love with, she now has power and control over you just like that at the drop of a hat. Because you told her the truth. And pickup artists and dating coaches always tell you you should tell the truth, do the right thing. And you do that, but you don't get the phone number, you don't get the email address, you don't even get the booty. The bad boy, all he does is tell lies and deception, and all he gets is phone numbers, email addresses, and the booty. What happens if a girl finds out that the player has had sex with 10 women? Now, most women will act like she don't want a man that's had sex with multiple females. She'll put up what they call a front. She'll act like she's too good to date a man that's a dog. But behind closed doors, her panties get wet. She'd write in her diary that, girl, he a freak with it. He just screwed this girl last night. He's screwing a girl right now as we speak. She's writing all this in a diary. Now, the player or the bad boy knows that the girl's going to come back. It's like being James Bond. If you want to know who is the ultimate player of players, it is James Bond. If you watch any of the James Bond movies, except for Spectre, of course, because that really wasn't that good of a James Bond film. But the point is, if you watch all the James Bond films, James Bond don't do any running after the booty. You don't see James Bond chase women, now do you? You know why? Because it's beneath James Bond to chase women. James Bond makes women chase him 99.99% of the time. Batman. You'll never see Batman chase Catwoman. You'll never see it. You'll see Catwoman chasing Batman. You know why? Because Batman understands how women's mind and psychosis work. Same thing with superheroes like the Punisher. If the Punisher was ever to get a woman chasing him, Punisher don't go after females. Women come after the Punisher. Okay, he kills criminals, but she finds him physically and sexually attractive because he's the Punisher. And why I'm using these prime examples is that I'm trying to explain to you men who chase after women get tricked and manipulated every single time. That's why you be hearing people say the woman is the man in the relationship and the man is the bitch. Players and bad boys are the man in the relationship and the girl is the girl. The player could have anywhere between 15 to 20 phone numbers in a 5-month period. You never see the player with the same girl more than once. And you know that rap song that Notorious B.I.G. made 15 years ago? A different freak of the week. Every single day of the week I'm with a different freak. That was the rap song, right? Basically what Notorious B.I.G. was saying in his rap song was Monday, I'm messing with Tina on Monday. Tuesday, I'm messing with white girl Kelly. Wednesday, I'm having a good time with Vanessa. And when it's Thursday, I'm messing with Trina. And then Friday, I'm going to mess with Shaniqua. And then the very next week, I'm going to mess with another 5 women the very next week. Every single day of the week, I'm screwing another woman. Well, guess what? You never see players and bad boys with the same woman more than once. Okay, there are rules to the exception. Okay, you might screw the same girl twice, but he's going to move on to the next female. And hold on. I want to make sure my camera's working. And you'll find out that that's how come the sex game work. Now, why does pickup artists and dating coaches sex game fails? Because they tell you to eliminate the women out of your pussy pool. So let's say in 5 years you ain't got laid. Now, in those 5 years, you could have had sex with 10 women in 5 years had you not reject, Gina, because Gina's 230 pounds. So you turn down a 230-pound woman because somebody told you raise your standards. You can only raise your standards if you start from the bottom and you work your way to the top. That's how you raise your standards. Ron Wills on YouTube said it best. At some place, you got to start somewhere in this world. You don't just automatically graduate from high school and go to colleges like UCLA just like that, right? No, you got to go to a junior college for 2 years and then pass all your remedial classes, and then you go to a big school. You don't graduate from high school and go to a big school just like that. You don't just become a filmmaker in film school and all of a sudden you go to Hollywood just like that. No, there's a transitional period where you got to work from one level to the next level to the next level in order to demand and be entitled to something. And that's the problem that I see on YouTube. I see a lot of YouTubers talking about, I got high standards. I expect so much of myself. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but if you're an average man talking about, I want 8s, 9s, and 10s, it's not going to happen. Because you don't have nothing to bring to the table to get 8s, 9s, and 10s. Men who have money, looks, and status, men that have resources can get 8s, 9s, and 10s just like that. But if you are not George Clooney or Leonardo DiCaprio, it's going to be very hard trying to get women that are 8s, 9s, and 10s. So in 5 years, you've turned down 10 women. Oh, I don't like her. She too tall. So you eliminated her. Oh, she 230 pounds. She fat and out of shape. So you eliminated her. That's 2 girls gone from the pussy pool. Oh, she too butt ugly. I don't want her. She got a big nose. So that's 3 girls you eliminated from the pussy pool. So in 5 years, you've turned down 10 women. And if anyone decides to be a smart ass, let's say 10 years go by. Well, in 10 years, you've turned down 20 women in 10 years. In 10 years, you have rejected 20 women because they're too fat, they're too tall, they're too butt ugly. So in 10 years, you become sexually frustrated. And you're frustrated at the fact that you did everything that the pickup artist and the dating coach told you to do, but you're not getting Scarlett Johansson. You're not getting Charlize Theron. You're not getting a Halle Berry. You're not getting the women that you see in the movies and the television shows that you was promised. You go, I did everything they told me to do. I told the woman the truth, but the woman hasn't called me back. That's how come a lot of men get played by women. They listen to the wrong information, and then they can't seem to make the distinction between what's real and what's fake. And then by the time they realize it's been 10 years later that no woman is giving them their phone number, their email address, and they ain't took no woman out to lunch or dinner, now you're getting into fights and arguments with your parents and your grandparents, your friends and your co-workers, because you rejected all the women in your pussy pool. So now you go to the water pool, right? You ever go to a dirty water pool that's not clean and won't nobody go into the water pool? Well, guess what? It's just like that. You got a dirty water pool and there's nobody in the water pool. Well, you eliminated all the women that was in your pool. In 10 years, you rejected 20 women because you use the excuse of she's too damn tall. But you ever notice that when a woman dates a player or a bad boy, she's not using the excuse of, oh no, girl, he too tall. No, if he tall, that's what she want. If the girl go, he got money, she not gonna turn him down because he a Dirty Dick Rodney. Dirty Dick Rodney got money, she's not turning that down. Oh, Dirty Dick Rodney's dirty, but he got a car. She's not turning down a guy with a car. That's how come a woman's pool is bigger than men's pool. That's why women get more McLovin. I can't say the D word because I don't want YouTube to come down on me and censor me and take this video down for saying the D word. So I gotta find a nice PG word to use that won't get me in trouble. She gets more McLovin 90% of the time in 10 years because she doesn't turn down the guy with the car. You turn down a girl because you go, oh, she ain't got no job. But dude, she turned down Dirty Dick Rodney because he don't have no car, no job? No. And then you complain that I'm a nice guy and she should choose me. Well, that's the problem right there. You keep thinking that being a nice guy is going to help you. Being a nice guy can also destroy the pussy pool. And why I'm saying that is because when you eliminate the women in your pool, guess what happens? You go on this long drought. You ever watch sports, right? Sports is the perfect example of this. You ever seen a basketball team win championships for 10 years? And then all of a sudden another 10 years go by, they can't win no championships? Well, that's what happens when you eliminate all the women out of your pool. I'll give you an example. When Shaq and Kobe first came together on the Los Angeles Lakers in 1996-1997 NBA season, that basketball team struggled defensively to win basketball games in the season. And when it came to the playoffs, they would get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs because they struggled defensively. It wasn't until they got Phil Jackson, he made some trades, and then all of a sudden they made it to the playoffs in 1999, 2000. 1999 they get swept in the first round. In 2000 they make it to the second round. They lose in the second round. Well, actually, I take that back. It was 1999. 2000 they win the first round, the second round, the third round, and then they win the finals. 2001, they win the finals. 2002, they win 3 championships in a row. Now, they had a chance to win 4 championships in a row, but, Shaq and Kobe didn't see eye to eye. And when they got rid of Shaq in 2005, Kobe Bryant went from 2005 to 2007 not winning a championship. All of a sudden, it was 2005. They failed to make the playoffs. 2006, 2007, he gets eliminated 2 years in a row in the first round. So that's 3 years no championship ring for Kobe Bryant. 2008, they lose in the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics. So that's 4 years Kobe doesn't get a championship ring, right? All of a sudden, he wins in 2009, 2010, back-to-back championships. 2011, eliminated from the first round. 2012, again eliminated from the first or from the second round. And then that Laker dynasty is gone. Well, what do you think happens when you go on this 5 to 10 year drought? And you see, when women be trying to give you their phone number and their email address, you say no because some pickup artist or dating coach told you you need to get 8s, 9s, and 10s. But they're not telling you the truth. They're not being honest with you. They're not telling you that to get 8s, 9s, and 10s, something is actually required. That's why you see a lot of players and a lot of bad boys 1 minute with women that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds, and then the next minute they're with supermodels, fitness models, booty models, actresses in television and film, and then they're dating the news lady because they use women that are subpar to get the attention of women that are above average. It's like 1 minute you're driving a bucket, right? But then you buy you a 2017 Alexis, and all of a sudden women are inside your car, right? Well, you got to realize that when you get your first job's going to be real shitty. When you get your first girlfriend's not going to be that good in bed. When you buy your first camera is not going to be that very good quality. And when you buy your first house is not going to be a big house like you see in the movies and the television shows. It's going to be a small house. That's how women is. The first 4 or 5 women you come in contact with are going to be average and subpar. It takes work to get 8s, 9s, and 10s. The pickup artists and the dating coaches don't tell you that because all they want is this. So ultimately, their sex game fails because you're going 5 to 10 years not getting laid. And then you get sexually frustrated. You know that old saying, a man will just screw anything in a skirt? That's where that comes from. It starts with you being lied to. Every time you turn down a woman that's between 6 feet to 6'5", you're just eliminating the women in your pussy pool, aka dating pool. When you turn down a girl because she's too fat or too butt ugly, guess what? You are eliminating the women in your pool. Now, when you see a handsome, good-looking man that's big, strong, and buff messing with a 200-pound or 300-pound woman, he's only doing that to get the attention of a supermodel. That's why he's doing it, to get the attention of a woman that's above average. That's what you're supposed to use subpar women for. You're not supposed to eliminate women from the pool. And when you do, you go 5 to 10 years on a drought. People laughing at you at work, making fun of you. Yo, Bob, when was the last time you had a blowjob? I ain't had one in 10 years. Oh, I had one last night. Man, I hate you. Yeah, but that's what happens when you listen to pickup artists and dating coaches. And you see, the pickup artist and the dating coach never gets left out in the cold. But you get left out in the cold. He gets your money and he get the girl. Now you see who wins and who loses. You give him your money, but he got the money and the girl. And what you don't get is the pickup artists and the dating coaches of today, of 2017, they're just using you to give them money to get the girl that they couldn't get without the money. Now you see who's getting used, right? Now, the player and the bad boy don't give women money, okay? The bad boy talks to the girl any kind of way he wants, and he get the booty. The player is not going to buy a woman nothing, and he gets the booty. All you do is you tell the truth, and the woman disrespects you and tricks you. So you see what happens when you listen to morons that don't know anything about women. And then you end up like some of these guys on YouTube who make these videos about, I can't get a girl. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years because you keep turning down all the girls in your pussy pool that you don't want to deal with, aka dating pool. See, the guys who act like they want ace, nines, and tens, you ever notice something? When you say I want ace, nines, and tens, you never get them. But you see a guy mess with a fat chick once in a while, all of a sudden he gets a supermodel. He messes with an ugly chick, he gets an actress. Because the guy understood, I got to put in some work to get those women. You don't just get ace, nines, and tens because I'm a man and I deserve to get ace, nines, and tens. Work is required. So that's why I made this video. This is part 2 of the video. So I hope you like it. And if you guys love this video, who knows, I might make a part 3, but this was to explain the difference between whose sex game works, whose sex game doesn't work. That's basically what this video was for. So when you're sitting back laughing at your best friend for having sex with women that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds, or a woman that's between 6 feet to 6'5", or a butt ugly looking girl, just remember that in 5 years he gonna be dating 8s, 9s, and 10s, and you're not. Because he's not eliminating the women from his dating options. He's not getting women from his pool. You are, because you're being lied to the wrong information. And this is a mistake that about 85% men make. You make this mistake in junior high, high school, college, the real world. You make this mistake, and by the time you approach 30, you're trying to figure out why you ain't getting no women in your life. Because you're getting rid of all the women out of your life because they're not perfect. But we're not perfect either. And the pickup artist has convinced you that you're perfect, but the women are not perfect. But even though those women are not perfect, they're still getting men that's above average. And you got to start scratching your head and asking yourself, how can these subpar women that I reject get above average men, but I can't get above average women? You need to start asking yourself these questions more often. 85% of us are in this predicament because we get rid of women that we don't find physically sexually attractive. The girl likes comic books. She likes video games. She's weird. She's strange. But yet she can get above average men, and we can't even get an above average woman. You need to think about that.